English Podcast.
From Speak English Passionately. Hello and welcome to the English podcast from Speak English Passionately. I'm your host Zara, and I'm so glad you're joining us today. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to control your anger, an important topic not only for your personal growth, but also for improving your communication in English. Today, Bill is with us and he'll be giving a powerful speech on practical tips and strategies that will help you boost your English skills faster than ever. So let's dive in.
Hello, my friends. I am Bill. Welcome to this video. Today, we're going to talk about something that affects all of us, no matter who we are, where we live, or what our background is. We're going to talk about anger, and more importantly, how to control it. Anger is one of the most powerful emotions a human being can experience. It can destroy relationships, it can ruin careers, it can damage your health, and it can even lead to dangerous situations if you allow it to take over your actions. But at the same time, anger is also part of being human. It is natural, it is instinctive, and it is something that we all feel at one time or another. The key is not to deny it, not to suppress it until it explodes, but to learn how to understand it, manage it, and control it so that it works for you instead of against you. In this long talk, I want to take you deep into the subject of anger, break it down to its roots, and then help you discover powerful methods to take control of your emotions, master your reactions, and build a calmer, stronger, and more focused life. First, let us begin by understanding what anger really is. Anger is an emotional response to a perceived threat, injustice, or frustration. It is part of the fight or flight system in our bodies, triggered by our brain when it senses that something is wrong. When you feel anger, your body releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tighten, your breathing becomes faster, and you are prepared either to fight back or to defend yourself. This biological response made sense thousands of years ago when human beings lived in dangerous environments, when survival often depended on reacting instantly to threats. But in modern society, most of the situations that make us angry are not life-threatening. There are things like someone cutting us off in traffic, someone saying something disrespectful, a colleague at work not recognizing our effort, or a family member not behaving the way we expect. Yet our body still reacts with the same intensity as if we were facing a physical threat. That is why anger can be so destructive if we don't learn to channel it properly. Now, anger itself is not necessarily bad. Anger can sometimes be a motivator. It can push you to stand up for yourself, to speak against injustice, to take action where you would otherwise remain passive. Many great movements in history were fueled by people's anger against unfairness. The problem is not the emotion itself, but how we deal with it. Uncontrolled anger leads to shouting, violence, harsh words, broken trust, and sometimes irreversible consequences. Controlled anger, on the other hand, can be transformed into energy, determination, and courage to make positive changes. So the real question we must explore is, how do we move from uncontrolled anger to controlled anger? How do we master it instead of letting it master us? The first step is awareness. Many people do not even realize how often they are angry. They might say, "I'm not angry, I'm just stressed," or "I'm just frustrated." But those are just softer words for the same feeling. Awareness means noticing when anger arises in you, even before it explodes. Pay attention to the physical signs in your body. Do you clench your jaw? Do you feel heat rising in your chest? Do you breathe faster? Do you start speaking louder? Do you feel the urge to lash out? These are signals from your body that anger is building. The earlier you catch it, the easier it will be to control it. It's like stopping a fire when it's just a spark, instead of waiting until it becomes a wildfire. The second step is understanding the triggers. What makes you angry? Is it disrespect? Is it being ignored? Is it when people waste your time? Is it when things don't go according to your plan? Each of us has unique triggers that light up our anger. Write them down. Be honest with yourself. Once you know your triggers, you can prepare for them. For example, if you know traffic always makes you angry, you can practice calming techniques before you drive. If you know certain people at work test your patience, you can train yourself to respond calmly instead of reacting instantly. The third step is slowing down your reaction. Most damage caused by anger happens in the first few seconds after it hits. That is when we say something cruel, throw something, hit someone, or make a decision we regret later. If you can delay your reaction, even for a few seconds, you give yourself the chance to regain control. One powerful technique is deep breathing. When you feel anger rising, take a slow, deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and then exhale slowly. Do this several times. It signals your nervous system to calm down, reduces adrenaline, and buys you precious time to think. Another method is to physically step away. If you are in an argument, tell the other person, "I need a moment," and walk out of the room. Go for a short walk, drink water, look at the sky. This physical break separates you from the heat of the moment. The fourth step is reframing your thoughts. Anger often comes from the way we interpret situations. For example, if someone interrupts you while you're speaking, you might immediately think, "They don't respect me." That thought triggers anger. But what if you reframe it? Maybe they're just excited to share their point. Maybe they didn't realize they cut you off. Maybe they were distracted. By changing the story you tell yourself about the situation, you can reduce the anger it creates. This does not mean you let people walk over you. It means you choose a calmer perspective before deciding how to respond. The fifth step is expressing anger in a healthy way. Bottling it up is not healthy. Exploding is not healthy either. The middle path is to express it calmly and assertively. Instead of shouting, say, "I feel upset when this happens, and I would like it to change." Use I statements instead of blaming statements. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," you can say, "I feel unheard when I'm interrupted." This way, you express your feelings without attacking the other person. This reduces defensiveness and opens the door to real communication. Another important practice is developing patience. Anger often comes from our desire for instant results. We want things done now, our way, without delay. But life does not always move according to our clock. Learning patience means accepting that delays, mistakes, and imperfections are part of reality. One way to develop patience is mindfulness meditation. Spend a few minutes each day sitting quietly, focusing on your breath, and observing your thoughts without judgment. This trains your mind to stay calm even when things don't go your way. It is also important to look at the bigger picture. Ask yourself, will this thing that makes me angry matter in a week, in a month, in a year? Many times we explode over small issues that are completely insignificant in the long run. For example, someone cuts you in line, someone forgets to call you back, someone makes a silly comment. Does it really matter? Is it worth your peace of mind? The more you learn to see the bigger picture, the less you will allow small irritations to disturb you. Now, let's talk about the connection between anger and ego. A lot of our anger comes from wounded pride. We feel disrespected, undervalued, or humiliated. The ego screams, "How dare they treat me this way?" And anger explodes. But if you learn to separate your self-worth from the behavior of others, you gain freedom. Other people's actions do not define your value. If someone insults you, it says more about them than about you. If someone ignores you, it does not make you less important. Once you weaken the grip of ego, you reduce many sources of anger. Another dimension of anger control is forgiveness. Holding on to grudges keeps anger alive. You replay the hurt again and again in your mind, and it poisons your peace. Forgiveness does not mean you approve of what was done to you. It means you release yourself from the burden of constant anger. You do it for your own freedom. Think of anger like carrying a heavy stone in your pocket. Every day you walk with it, it weighs you down. Forgiveness is simply choosing to drop that stone. Now, let's consider the role of physical health. Lack of sleep, poor diet, lack of exercise. All of these make you more irritable and quick to anger. When your body is tired or filled with junk food, your emotions are harder to control. Regular exercise helps release built-up stress and tension. Eating nutritious food supports stable mood. Getting enough rest keeps your mind calm. So controlling anger is not just about psychology, it is also about lifestyle. There is also the social aspect. The people you surround yourself with influence your emotional state. If you're always around angry, negative people, you will absorb their energy. If you spend time with calm, positive people, their attitude will rub off on you. Choose your company wisely. Limit time with those who constantly trigger your anger, and increase time with those who inspire peace. And finally, remember that controlling anger is a lifelong practice. You will not master it in one day or even 1 year. There will be times you fail, times you explode, times you regret. That is part of the journey. What matters is not perfection, but progress. Each time you catch yourself earlier, calm yourself faster, express yourself more clearly, you are growing stronger. Over time, you will notice that situations that once made you furious now hardly disturb you. That is the sign of mastery. So my friends, if you truly want to control your anger, start with awareness. Know your triggers, slow down your reaction, reframe your thoughts, express yourself calmly, develop patience. See the bigger picture, loosen the grip of ego, practice forgiveness, take care of your body, choose your company wisely, and keep practicing every day. Anger is powerful, but so are you. Do not let it burn your life. Use it as fuel to light your path. Thank you for staying with me through this deep exploration of anger. If this talk helped you, I invite you to reflect on your own anger, to share your experiences in the comments, and to take one step today towards becoming calmer, stronger, and wiser. Remember, peace is not the absence of anger. It is the mastery of it. Stay strong, stay calm, and I will see you in the next video.